National's new drug reform spokeswoman says her party favours an evidence-based approach that's also firm and fair. But Chloe Swarbrick, the Green Party's drug reform spokesperson, says Paula Bennett is peddling misinformation. They both join us now. Good morning.
Hi sweeties, it's me Paula Bennett. Here I am just chillaxing in my kimono.
I am going to commit suicide.
So Paula, I'm going to come to you first. What do you think the evidence says and how it informs how drug reform should be taken?
Yeah, well, I think that we are looking at a binding referendum at the next election. That's a big move for the country. And I suppose what I'm saying is let's make sure that we're putting all of the arguments out on the table, that we are looking at the evidence that we can from other jurisdictions. I don't have all the answers.
No shit.
Now, surely, if you don't want your kids dating people who are addicted, then a health-based approach would work. Chloe, this is what you are saying is going to work for us.
Morena Hayley. I'm sorry I can't be in the studio this morning. I'd love to shake Paula's hand because I think there's a surprising number of things that we agree on.
I think we should be much tougher on gangs that do make a huge amount of money. It suits them to get younger people addicted earlier. There's a whole education component to this. I do believe in law and order.
Are you slightly worried that this may happen with some cannabis product?
I'm more than slightly worried, and I get Chloe's argument, but the counter to it is that in some of the jurisdictions that we've seen cannabis be legalised, actually the illicit market has increased. On the regulation, that's
just totally wrong. It's just like wrong. This is wrong.
There is a counter to this that we just want to make sure that the whole arguments are being put out there, and if there is evidence that illegal market around marijuana disappeared, well, we haven't seen it actually in those places.
Her party favours an evidence-based approach.
Where it's legalised, people under the age of 18, there's been a huge increase in the number that are taking marijuana, and there is evidence that can fry little brain cells when you're younger, and that is a concern to me. So there are a whole lot of areas. It is not as simple as saying we'll legalise marijuana. Those that want to have a joint can, she'll be right. We'll be able to tax it. We'll make sure there's a legal age. There's a whole lot of unintended consequences that we've got 18 months to really get on the table so the public can make a decision.
If I may just ask there, Paula, what evidence is it that you're referring to there?
Certainly, there's been a whole lot of and that's part of the problem is these things haven't been actually in the market.
Paula, I understand that you are attempting to position yourself as the middleman here, and that means not taking a stance either way. But if I may put it to you, that seems a lot like a little bit of a cynical political move, which I think kind of belittles and degrades the tone of the debate. I understand that you're obviously putting forward a level of scepticism, and I actually myself hold that level of scepticism as well. I personally do not like drugs and would like it if we could eradicate them from planet Earth, but we're not going to be able to do that. So what I'm saying is that we need to use the evidence. The evidence that it seems as though you're referring to is one report, which was an anomaly and an outlier in the form of the Rocky Mountain report, which has been debunked multiple times. I understand that you're putting forward arguments against, and I would love to entertain them, but I just think that instead of simply raising scepticism, I would love to see what the National Party is actually proposing here.
And I take this sort of passive-aggressive of trying to put me down, but I've been in politics for far too long to jump at that one. I'm relatively open-minded.